Hello, my friends. Today was a pretty special day for me, so I wanted to share a few thoughts with you about it. I was very lucky to be able to attend the Long Life Festival, or I'm sorry, the Long Life Ceremony for His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. And wow, that's all I can say. Whoa. I'm not the sort of person to be impressed by any name or fame or acclaim or any celebrity or anything. No one at all. I am impressed by his actions and his character and his message and his philosophy, yes. But I have to say, I today was the first time I actually saw him in person and was in his presence. I've seen him 3 times before. Well, I attended one of his lectures. I didn't get to see him directly. But today, I really, I'm speechless. Just the profundity of the atmosphere. I just can't describe it. But anyway, so as he was entering and being escorted in, and all the beautiful music and dance that were lining his way, the red carpet strewn with fresh flower petals, the incense, the Tibetan long trumpets, the staccato voices of beautiful young dakinis in full traditional Tibetan costume, and the masked dancers and drum players that were going ahead of him on the carpet into the temple, and his 2 assistants on both sides holding his arms. And he walked in slowly and greeted so many people, took his time, smiling, shaking hands, touching foreheads. Anyway, it was indescribable, and I just couldn't help but start to cry. I don't know why. Just profound. Anyway, so I attended, and similar at the end, he came down the stairs and came back out, through the beautiful carpeted way, dangled with garlands of marigolds. Beautiful, just dangled like drapery. Just once again was brought to tears. Such an incredible being. Inspiration, really. Anyway, so after that, there were just hundreds and hundreds of people, and we were literally jam-packed together like sardines, and many of us were sitting on the floor. I was surrounded by monks and Tibetans in traditional costume, and there were a number of Europeans from many different countries, and just overwhelming. Anyway, so after he departed, I made my way against the crowd, against the flow. As they were leaving, I went back upward toward the temple. So I want to go back to the temple where he had sat on his dais, his low throne where he teaches from, a traditional sort of platform that's above head level so he can be seen. That's in front of the large, beautiful Buddha statue. So he represents the body, the mind, and the speech of the Buddha. The speech is the teaching of the Dharma, of the truth of the way things are, and the path of living in accordance with it, and freeing yourself from the suffering of wishing it to be other than what it is. Loving it the way it is, because it's perfect. It's perfect for waking up. But as long as you want to sleep, you're going to suffer. It's going to be a really bad dream. But that's not what it's about. It's all about waking up. So it's perfect for that. Suffering is very good for that, if you decide to learn from it. Anyway, I digress. So I went back into the temple. There were many people there wanting to touch the throne that he had just sat on just moments before, and had taught us from, and who had embodied the teachings, the path, the method, the realization. He's the realization, and the full possibility and probability of us as well attaining just as much with effort. So a lot of people were there, and they wanted to touch the throne, put their arms and legs, and not legs, the arms and their head and their forehead on the throne, sort of absorb his presence, absorb his blessing. Deep sign of tremendous respect. And I'm not this sort of person, but I found myself doing the same thing. I was so moved with his being, his presence, his effect on me, that I just am so inspired now more than ever, that I know that this is the path for me. This really is the way for me until I reach enlightenment. Soon, I hope. Before I die, that would be nice. Anyway, so this is my regular mala, which I brought from America, and I took this, and I also took a new mala, which is a malachite mala. And one more thing, yesterday I happened to buy this silver Kala Chakra pendant. So I had those three with me, and I found myself just like every other pilgrim there, rubbing these on the throne, touching these on the throne, touching my forehead on the throne. And they were even, I guess it's a traditional thing to, there's a space in front of the throne where you can put your head below the throne, and I don't know much about that, but I imagine that it means that the blessing will rain on you, will fall on you, will cover you, will be imbibed through your head into your being. Anyway, strangely enough, I found myself absolutely wanting to do the same thing. And I did. Such a indescribable, really. And they did the circumnavigation. They walked around the throne, and directly behind the throne is the large, beautiful golden Buddha statue. And I found myself doing the same thing, touching my mala to the base of the statue and bowing and putting my head, below. There's an area below the statue, and then there's one more little area before you leave where all of the teachings, the great wisdom teachings, on the nature of mind and method of the path of awakening. They represent the speech of the Buddha, the teaching of the Buddha, the method, the way of illuminating, teaching us. I found myself doing the same thing, touching my forehead and putting my head below it, and walking out. And before I left the complex, it's a huge complex, I found this beautiful prayer wheel room. There was a prayer wheel that was probably, I'm guessing, 9 feet tall. One wheel, huge wheel, 9 feet tall, maybe 5 or 6 feet wide, in this square room. And all the walls were covered with absolutely incredible paintings of the Buddhas. I'd never seen them so beautiful. I couldn't take pictures because I didn't have my phone. We couldn't take our phones. But there was a little old Tibetan woman in front of me, and she was doing the traditional thing, holding onto the wheel and walking counterclockwise. And as you walk, it rings a bell for one rotation. Painted around the outside of the wheel is the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra. And within that huge wheel, probably literally millions of that prayer. So the idea is it's just infinite blessing. It's infinite prayer. The aspiration that all beings be freed from their suffering and be freed from their causes of their suffering, and that they may attain the happiness that is unconditional and the peace that is eternal, and the compassion to help all as brothers. So I guess that's about it. That was pretty much one of the best things I've ever done. So I just wanted to share that with you. Goodbye for now. Namaste.